Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video unboxing and first impressions of the JT Travel Buddy. This is a quad-band GSM World phone. It's a very simple candy bar phone without too many of the advanced functions you might find from a smartphone, and it retails for about 50 bucks online if you get it separately. However, JT Travel Group, we've seen a few of their phones in the past in the form of e-kit devices. They have quite a few subsidiary brand names, and one of them is Telestial, a company that we are checking out some of their products in this coming few weeks, and this is one of those. If you pick it up through Telestial's website, you can actually get it at as low as 20 bucks with $5 of calling credit. And Telestial is a very low-cost international prepaid carrier, which is great if you're traveling abroad and you don't really know about maybe the services offered there. This offers you a low-cost solution when you are maybe on vacation or going for a business trip, and it includes the phone as well for that low $20 price tag. So checking out the design of the box here, pretty simple. The phone itself is just capable of calling, text messaging. There's a very simple MP3 player capability on board, but that's basically it. You don't have any more advanced features on here. You can see here it's a dual SIM phone, so you can actually pop in two SIM cards at the same time. Quite useful if you have, let's say, a backup number that you want to use. And again, this has a bit more info about the capabilities of the handset. It also has access to a 24/7 hotline and a helpline that's is accessed in multiple languages, again, pretty unique, works worldwide except in Canada, Japan, and South Korea, and again, it's produced by JT Travel Group. So in here, the first thing you see is that there's a quick note by the company that says that for your convenience, your full-size SIM card has been pre-inserted onto the device. And again, it comes with this quick SIM card as part of the packaging, as well as a quick instruction guide, and this is what the actual phone looks like. We'll take a closer look at the design in a moment. Otherwise, in terms of packaging, you get a few more contents inclusive of a micro USB for charging. It looks like this port is actually heavily recessed since it is so elongated, but nonetheless a standard port also for syncing information with a computer, Mac, or PC, just so if you want to transfer songs and use that basic MP3 player functionality. There's also the dedicated rechargeable battery, which you have to insert yourself, as well as some additional travel guides, quick start guides. It tells you how to set things up for the first time. Looks like there's also a torch or an LED light functionality, like we saw from some low-cost Nokias a few years back. And there's also a warranty guide in the very bottom of the packaging. So that is it. First thing that we see here, please note, screen protector on phone can be removed. So we're going to try and peel this part off, and hopefully this allows us to see the screen a little bit easier. The phone as a whole is fairly lightweight, but it's a little larger than I originally expected, just because I've, again, already reviewed a few e-kit phones, which is also produced by JT Group, the same parent company. And that phone was a lot smaller. This one actually, for a candy bar phone, is about the same, I would say, form factor as almost a modern smartphone as far as the dimension. So this might be a battery case for the iPhone SE or the iPhone 5S. You can see how it stacks up. So not too overly small. It does have a good feel in the hand because it's crafted out of a series of soft touch rubber materials as well as a polycarbonate frame. And the back has this really interesting pattern effect. So for 20 bucks, you are getting a fairly unique looking handset. So to remove the back cover, there's a slight pin on the bottom here that you basically push up. And it's a pretty tight cover. It actually takes a bit of effort to get around all the edges, so it's not going to fall off anytime soon. And inside here you can see indeed we have one of the SIM cards pre-installed. It's actually an adapter form SIM card, so it includes that nano SIM card as well as that micro SIM card, and of course that full-size SIM card, which this particular phone takes. And you can see that it supports all of those, so you can still pop out the SIM and use it, let's say, on another phone if it's unlocked. There's also an optional micro SD card slot in here to expand the memory on here if you do want to plan on listening to music and using that MP3 functionality. So we're going to pop in the battery here. You can see it's a 600 milliamp hour capacity battery, which is, I think, is a decent size for a rather low-powered phone. It doesn't really require too much since there isn't a massive screen or a processor that really demands a lot of heavy usage. And you can see on the back here, there's also, it looks like a camera port, but in reality it's just for decorative purposes. So I'm guessing that maybe there's another model of this phone somewhere floating around on the internet that features a camera, but again, this one does not have that feature. The very top features an LED light, the aforementioned torch functionality, and again you have some chrome accents running on the sides, which are made out of plastic. The bottom features access to that recessed micro USB port for charging. There's a 3.5mm headphone jack, so that is fairly standard, and again, pretty attractive in design. Definitely has a nice weight as well as overall feel in the hand as well. So a lot heftier than I originally expected from a basic candy bar phone. The front features access to that LCD display. On top there's that earpiece, and below here you have access to standard controls, the talk and end keys. There's a power on-off switch, which dubs as the answer reject call keys. And there's also an information button on the center here that also serves as your 5-way navigation toggle. Finally, there is a T9 style layout, which is pretty tactile and responsive, also risen above the surface, and it is backlit, so you can still see it under darker environments. It's going to tell us to set up the time and date. Of course, we can get more in depth with the overall performance of this phone, as well as with the design and how the data plan that's packaged with this prepaid plan works in our official written review. That's going to be in a video coming out very soon, but for now we're just going to go ahead and go on and take just a very first impressions look, I guess, of the screen. So it seems like it works pretty well. Not the best in terms of the colors, of course, but it definitely works. It's great for dialing as well as texting. And you can see there's a preset few numbers in terms of emergencies as well as contacting people. This is probably the button to give us the full menu drawer. And overall, it looks like a pretty modern UI. It reminds me a bit of Symbian from Nokia. So again, there are a few shadows of those effects and that legacy that we can still see here in this candy bar form factor phone. Thanks for watching this video first look and unboxing first impressions of the JT Travel Buddy, and in our case it's with the light pack provided by Telestial. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.